Is Overwatch 2 fun? Is it worth playing? What's the difference with Overwatch 2 to Overwatch 1? Well, it's simple. It's actually Overwatch, but there's a 2 now after the Overwatch. There's more to that. I've been playing Overwatch 1 since the technical alpha, and I have to say after 500 hours, I was done with it. 6 players was just too much. Individual performance didn't seem to matter at all. I just didn't feel my impact into the game. Now one could say, get good. But Overwatch 2, the biggest change is we obviously have a new engine that we'll get into, but we do have 5 versus 5 players. And for all of you that ever played Overwatch out there, that's a tremendous change. Before you had 2 tanks, 2 DPS, 2 healers. And also all the roles were kind of like a little bit pressed into their role. If you were support, you were healing. If you're tank, you were tanking, whatsoever. Now with 5 players, your individual performance matters way more. The significance of your performance is way more important. I play Moira, for example. Moira does heal and do damage. And you kind of get to do both a lot to actually be worth your role. Whereas the tank does tank, but also the tanks nowadays are more damage dealers than tanks. I mean, they have huge amounts of health pools, plus shielding abilities. But on top of that, they do good amounts of damage. Whereas the ADS, they're always the ADS. But if they don't perform well, that's a problem because, yeah, now you can't rely on the other teammates to compensate for your shortcomings because you're 5 players only. And it changes the whole dynamic of the game. Because if you're flanking around and 3 players are engaged up front and there's only the 2 supporters in the back, that's that. You can actually 1v2 the supporters, 2v1 the supporters, 1v1 and whatsoever. And therefore, if you're able to take someone out and it's only 4 left, not 5 left, it makes such a huge difference to have these amount of players, and it does significantly change how the game is going. But that's not all. I mean, Overwatch 2 is also with a new engine. We have better hit reg, better netcode. Everything is working smoother. Optimization, if you do manage to get into the game. Obviously, there is a DDoS attack and the servers have been struggling quite a lot. But I have to say, I've been playing now around 20, 30 ranked games yesterday, and it has been an incredible joy. Now, who would I recommend Overwatch 2 for? Because Overwatch 1 doesn't exist. That's a heads up. It's only Overwatch 2 from this point on forwards. So it literally doesn't matter what's the difference. Because this is Overwatch now. Call it 2.0, call it 2, 1.5, whatever you want to call it. This is the Overwatch we have, and this is the Overwatch we get. You do like team-based shooters, especially if you can identify yourself with one of the heroes, champions. And you're good at tracking your opponents, because this is the main hard part about Overwatch. If you play any class, due to the fast movement and the flicking around and the whatsoever, tracking is incredibly hard in this game, especially for the average gamer. When I see good players do things and I'm decent, maybe above average, I'm just like, how the hell is he able to, Jesus, holy Christ, track that down? If your tracking is ass, you might want to play a class that doesn't need very good hit scan tracking. I play Moira, for example, because Moira presses right mouse button, sucks your soul out, left mouse button heals, and then I can throw my balls at people to smash their faces in. And that's super fun. But it also needs me to not aim. I just have to move, maneuver, and put myself in positions that are smart to then get the most out of what I am playing. So find a champion you resonate with. I have played every single supporter to this date, and I like none of them. But when I started playing Moira, I was like, this is it. This is me. Everything is fantastic about this character. And if you find that moment, congratulations, you have arrived in Overwatch. It might sound boring to really play the same champion over and over and over and over again. But I have to say, due to every match having different opponent teams, different combinations of how they're playing, different supporters as well, whatsoever, tanks, and every team makeup is kind of different. Plus, you're defending, you're attacking, you're pushing the robot, and whatsoever. It doesn't get boring. There's so much variety in the getup and the setup. It almost feels like BR, where every game is different, every zone is different, and everything. Compared to other arena shooters where there's, no different heroes and there's kind of like static. There's only different weapons and whatsoever than the maps. But due to the amount of heroes that are there and that are mixed up, it kind of gives a very good vibe off that you can enjoy tremendously.